Our challenge was, how can journalism schools take on a new university-wide role as leaders in news literacy? So we were predominantly schools, departments, colleges represented in that group. We thrashed through some of the obvious obstacles: general education requirements, what the Dean of Arts and Sciences would say if I tried to insert another program into her money account, basically. Accreditation constraints, the faculty resistance, as in how will this help me get tenure, and money. And then we looked at strategies: collaboration, co-opting, which Howie seems to have done well here, and then crossing disciplines as being the sort of essential things, and of course money. Our three recommendations would be, since this is a group that's already demonstrated an interest and a capability, and some are already in fact doing things, to provide seed grants to journalism programs, departments, schools, colleges that are ready and willing to move forward with community building, news literacy initiatives to reach out beyond their own majors, across the university, and indeed to partner in training with middle schools and upper schools in their areas. We debated what would be a useful amount just as a seed grant, and came up with the figure of $25,000 per institution. I don't know, I didn't do an exact count here, but there might be 40 of us here, and you can do the math. Quite frankly, we took the view that money talks now, probably talks louder now when all of us are struggling with budgets. And if each of us could go into the provost with, I've got a $25,000 seed grant, we might be able to get something started, if only on an experimental basis. Recommendation number 2 was to really pick up on Howie's suggestion of a clearinghouse. And since you're already building the clearinghouse, in essence, in the Literacy Center here, that we should collectively utilize, encourage, participate, share, take advantage of something that is already coming into play, and we would be eager to do that. And our third recommendation was to develop external partners. Now, Jack talked about, and others have talked about, working with local newspapers and getting them involved in particular programs, other media as well. We took it on a somewhat different level, getting out to the professional organizations that many of us deal with, ASNE, RTNDA, and also with the academic organizations, AEJMC, ASJMC, possibly creating an interest group at AEJMC, that would be a relatively easy thing to do, and take advantage of the fact that we do get together annually and use that as an opportunity for a follow-on to what we have done here. Our bonus recommendation is, before Shirley leaves, get her to write a letter to each of our presidents, and in essence picking up on this notion that the presidents can be a force for delivering the message across other campuses, to demonstrate that this is a national endeavor, not just the whim of the Dean of the College of Mass Communications at South Carolina. So that's the bonus. You get that one free. We did talk a lot about outcomes, and I'll send you that vigorous debate. We wanted to see the word ethics in there somewhere, and thought that you could enhance the understanding of how the journalists work that particular piece. And then in answer to the question of, if you were asked to participate in a consortium of 5 journalism schools crafting a $1 million grant proposal, we would answer it this way: why 5? And forgive me, why frequently the same 5? So we had about 20 people around our table, and we think if you go back to our recommendation number 1, 25,000 apiece, you could accomplish something on 40 campuses rather than 5. But if you're anxious to spend $1 million anyhow, one of the things that we think is important is the research and assessment side of it. And we would strongly recommend creating a refereed online news literacy journal that would also answer some of those questions about, how does this help me get tenure, but how do we perpetuate this? How do we proliferate? How do we communicate and get the word out beyond this group to those who would also be doing the work on the ground, the faculty and many others. We think that would be valuable for them to have that kind of an opportunity to demonstrate and share their research. Thank you.